She hijacked every office plan, so I finally stepped back. Our office has one coworker, Dana, who treats every harmless group activity like she is the executive producer of a live awards show. And the rest of us are unpaid interns who should be grateful she is willing to tell us where to stand, what to bring, and how to smile while she takes the credit. It started with small things like changing lunch reservations after I had already confirmed headcount, or rewriting the sign-up sheet caption so it looked like her idea, but because none of it was technically a crisis, everyone kept shrugging and saying that was just Dana being extra again. Then, our manager mentioned doing a Friday appreciation potluck for the interns, and before anyone could ask a single follow-up question, Dana had already posted a color-coded spreadsheet, assigned themes to departments, and told people to send her all receipts if they wanted the table to look cohesive. I actually like planning, so I offered to help with simple logistics like table layout, outlet access, and who was bringing serving utensils, but Dana immediately reframed that into me handling the boring parts while she curated the vibe, which apparently meant choosing fonts for the menu cards and talking over everyone. By Tuesday, she was answering every group message with phrases like, already handled, even when she had not handled it at all. And people started forwarding their questions to me privately because I was the only person giving answers that included times, quantities, and whether there would be actual plates. I kept forwarding those questions back into the main thread because I was trying very hard not to become Dana's invisible safety net again. But she would swoop in with a dramatic little update, repeat half of what I had just said, and everyone would respond with heart emojis like she had just landed a plane. The part that finally got under my skin was when she copied my seating map, pasted it into her own slide, added 3 clip art lemons to the corner, and presented it in the staff meeting as the visual flow concept she had stayed up perfecting, while I sat there holding the original printed draft. After the meeting, I pulled her aside as gently as I could and said I was happy to collaborate. But if I was doing the operational work, I did not want to keep being treated like the anonymous intern under her campaign. She laughed and said I was too serious for a party built around mini sandwiches. That answer told me exactly how the rest of the week was going to go. So I stopped arguing, stopped correcting, and most importantly, stopped pre-solving the problems I knew were coming. If Dana wanted to be seen as the mastermind, then the mastermind could also own the gaps between the pretty plan and reality. I still did my assigned dish because I was not about to punish the interns for her personality, but I took my name off the shared logistics document, stopped reminding people about deadlines, and let every new question in the chat sit there untouched until Dana decided whether she was actually handling it. Almost immediately, the tiny cracks started widening. Someone asked where they should drop hot food before noon, and Dana replied with a confetti emoji and followed the signage. There was no signage. Another person asked whether the break room fridge had enough space, and she answered, "We are keeping the energy flexible." By Thursday afternoon, I had counted 6 practical questions that got vague lifestyle blog answers instead of real instructions. And my favorite was when one of the interns asked if anyone had checked whether the microwave on our floor still sparked when 2 things ran at once. Dana responded, "We are manifesting smooth flow." Friday morning, I came in early because I had one report to finish, and Dana was already there rearranging folded napkins into fan shapes while ignoring 3 foil trays sitting on the copier table with no labels, no serving spoons, and no clue whether they were vegetarian, spicy, or still safe to leave out. She saw me walk in, gave me the bright fake smile she uses when an audience appears, and asked if I could just do my magic with the food labels, since I am so good at details. I smiled back, said I trusted her vision completely, and sat down at my desk with headphones on before she could hand me a marker. Around 11, the first real problem hit. Facilities had moved our backup folding tables to another floor for a training event, which was exactly the kind of thing I usually checked 2 days in advance. Dana apparently assumed tables are like weather, present by default and rude if they are not. She spent 10 minutes calling people to ask where the tables went, then another 10 trying to drag a heavy round conference table out of a meeting room while still insisting the setup was under control. The harder she tried to sound composed, the more obvious it became that she had never actually tracked the basics. Then, the food started arriving all at once. One team brought soup with no ladle, another brought cupcakes that needed a knife, and someone from accounting showed up with 6 gallons of lemonade and asked where the dispensers were. Dana blinked at him like he had introduced a new branch of mathematics. The interns were supposed to eat at noon, but by 11:50 there were still no labels, no extension cord for the slow cooker, and no plan for allergy cards. Dana finally came over and asked if I had, by chance, printed the backup checklist I used for events last quarter. I had. I just had not brought it. I told her honestly that I kept my own copies for events I was running. And since she said she had the appreciation lunch completely covered, I had assumed my old checklist would only get in the way of her process. She stared at me for a second like she had swallowed a stapler. That was the moment she realized I was not stepping in, and I could practically see the internal math happening behind her eyes. She could either ask for direct help in front of everyone after spending a week acting indispensable, or keep improvising and hope the interns confused chaos for charm. She chose improvising. Within 15 minutes, there were cupcakes next to the soup, cold pasta on the dessert side, and 3 little handwritten labels that just said yummy, contains dairy maybe, and fun surprise. I'm not exaggerating. One of the interns took a picture because he thought it was satire. Our manager walked in right as the lemonade pitcher slipped, splashed across the corner of Dana's decorative menu board, and sent 2 of her carefully lettered table cards drifting onto the floor like damp apology notes. She tried to laugh it off, but even the polite people had gone visibly quiet by then. Only after that did she finally ask in a very small voice whether I could please help untangle the table order and make the labels readable before everyone came through. I said yes because, again, I was not trying to ruin the intern's lunch, but I did it in front of our manager and only after she asked plainly. The fix itself took maybe 12 minutes. I grouped the food by type, wrote actual labels with allergens, found spare serving spoons in the kitchenette, and borrowed 2 carts from shipping for overflow. In other words, I solved the exact boring details Dana had spent a week pretending were beneath the real planner. After lunch, our manager thanked me for stepping in, then very gently asked Dana to send future event plans through me before announcing that she had everything handled. Dana looked like she wanted the carpet to unzip and take her with it, which would have been dramatic but still more organized than her spreadsheet. Now she is telling mutual coworkers that I set her up by withholding my usual help and letting her crash in public over a party that was supposed to be simple. I keep thinking I only stopped doing unpaid invisible rescue work after she spent months insisting she did not need it. But was I too petty for finally letting the planner own the plan?